Hi, loves. Welcome. My name is Elizabeth, and I am the director of the Institute New Paradigm Intimacy. I'm here to share a little bit around our upcoming Men's Sacred Sexuality Mastery course. That's going to be a 6-week online container that is beginning January 13th, 2025. I really had a moment where I was sitting in a place of deep listening as to what wanted to come through the Institute New Paradigm Intimacy, what was next to bring. And I had a clear direction to bring two separate containers, one for women and one for men. And so that piece came in very clearly, and I immediately went into preparing for the women's container. And as I was preparing for the women's container, I started to get subtle indications and intuitive hits that no, it was the men's container that needed to come first. And so I leaned into that, which is what we teach at the Institute New Paradigm Intimacy, to lean into that deeper listening, to lean into that deeper trust, to lean into that deeper intuitive sense and knowledge that comes through. And so I did, and I brought forth this men's 6-week sacred sexuality mastery course. So it is really a deep honor and privilege for me to work with so many men. And I have been working with quite a few men using the self-pleasure modality and supporting men to connect back to their bodies, to begin to feel the sensations in their body, to access that part of them that harnesses the true love, and to begin to bring up those dark pieces of shame that sit dwelling below sexuality for so many men. And so in this sacred sexuality course, so who is this course for? This course is for any male body who is curious about sacred sexuality, who has perhaps explored some Tantra, Neo-Tantra embodiment workshops and retreats that have had sexuality present, yet the sexuality development portion has not really been taught. And so that is one aspect of who this course is for. Another aspect, and I would say perhaps niche, who this course is for, are men who have journeyed in sexuality and sexuality development and are looking to use a really profound method, which is the self-pleasure modality, which is the conduit for what we use at the Institute New Paradigm Intimacy to access Eros and to access a greater life force energy. And we use the self-pleasure modality at the Institute because it is a supremely crafted modality that was birthed by Victoria Redbard, and it simultaneously at the same time supports the increase of the capacity of the nervous system to tolerate pleasure, as well as it supports the exploration and the understanding and the in-depth process of sexuality development. And blended and woven within these two aspects of the somatic piece and the sexuality development piece is a very, very finite shamanic lens of how to move through sexuality and how sexuality can be harnessed as a transformative piece, as a healing modality, as a healing piece, and as really what I call the final frontier in self-development. So that's another genre of who this is for: those who are active in the sacred sexuality space, those who are curious about the self-pleasure modality, those who want to deepen into their ability to run their erotic current through their body and to hold that erotic current. The self-pleasure modality brings both of those. And thirdly, this would be for anyone who really feels the intuitive hit. That I am seeking, like what this woman is saying sounds like it's pulling me. And what the Institute is bringing, and perhaps looking at our Instagram page or us on Facebook, or perhaps hearing my last class, The Love Addict, there was some resonance in you. Or perhaps you were in the men's 7-day self-pleasure challenge that we just wrapped up. And so the invitation is to follow that calling. The invitation is to follow the calling, even though you might not logically understand why. Like, why do I want to study sexuality right now? Why do I want to study sexuality development? I don't know. But I like what is coming through. I like this message. I'm vibrating with this frequency of what is being spoken, of the pieces that are being shared. And so it's the invitation to lean into that. So that is who this course is for. It is the details, for those who need to know the details, it is a 6-week course, and we begin January 13th. The times of our weekly meeting are still yet to be determined. Once I fill the container, then I will be in tune with setting the times. Each week we will have a different module. You will have the course is done live. So I and other facilitators from the Institute New Paradigm Intimacy, as well as other sexuality leaders from around the world, will be teaching this course. That will all be released, and that information will be released once we open the space and open the container. So we will have one weekly transmission or teaching a week on each module. And then you will get a specific self-pleasure practice for that week. So the caveat in this course is for you to show up to the teachings live, and they will be recorded if you can't make it, but to set the intention to be a part of the space, to bring yourself fully to this container, to bring yourself fully to this community of men that we're creating inside the Institute New Paradigm Intimacy, as well as bringing yourself to a commitment of committing to self-pleasure and do the self-pleasure practice at least 4 out of the 7 days of the week, because that's where the transformation happens. In addition, there will be supplemental materials. I will give meditations. I have a ton of resources, and all of those pieces will be put into the container. And we will also have a Telegram community of men where we will generate a community around what's moving, around the shares, around what's resonating in the group, around how the topics are landing, questions, comments, and those pieces. So that's also an important part. If you want to take a look at how I've laid out the modules, you can go ahead, and I will hopefully put the link, if I remember, in the bottom of this video. If not, my website or our website will be at the bottom of this video, and you can click on the website and you can peruse the modules and a little bit more about the course. The course is priced very reasonably. I think it's at, I don't even know what it's at. I'd have to look. It's priced at $599. So it's just under a $600 USD investment. And this is a really beautiful, and there's going to be a lot of information in this course, and it will be a very powerful experience in the container that we create together. And on a larger scale, what this is bringing through is each individual who comes to the Institute New Paradigm Intimacy to study in some way or form, is called in whichever fashion they are called into, is another individual that is stepping into opening and to learning how to channel and to move their sexual energy at a more controlled frequency, at a higher frequency. The reason why I call sexuality development the final frontier is that it has taken humanity quite a significant amount of time in order to open into the knowledge of, the embodiment of our sexual frequency, of our sexual energy. And the embodiment of our sexual energy is an ongoing process because it is an intense piece of element of life force that moves through our body. And one of the reasons why this power has not been taught to us, has been pushed aside and cast aside, is because as a humanity, as a global consciousness, we weren't ready to individually learn how to harness this energy. And now, if you look around, you see how consciousness is rising quite rapidly. You see how not only is sex being talked about more, but different types of relationships, right, have come out into the open and are more commonplace. And so the stereotypes and the conditioning are changing. But not only that, meditation is much more common, and understanding the nervous system and all of these pieces are raising the vibration of consciousness. And so it is now time. If you are being called forward now to study your sexuality, you are in a movement, in a collective movement to begin to vibrate this powerful, powerful energy in your own individual body, which opens up and connects to this collective frequency that is looking to emerge from us as a collective, from us as a planet. So it's a really powerful time to study sexuality development. And I am honored to be directing the Institute New Paradigm Intimacy and stepping forward and leading this exploration and this education. So if you feel pulled, if you're resonating with anything that I'm saying, we would love to have you. If you have any more questions, you can find me on any of the socials, and I'd be happy to have a conversation with you individually if you have any questions about the details or so forth. And yeah, that's it.